So before I get into this video, I just want to make a very quick disclaimer that this video is going to contain a lot of spoilers of stuff that it happens after the anime. It's mostly going to be, light novel stuff, and also volume 17, which is not currently out legally in an English translation. You can find translations out there. You can also just buy the Japanese volume and read the Japanese volume if you read or speak Japanese. For those that again don't want spoilers, I will be covering some pretty heavy spoilers when it comes to Freya and of course Belle. But also, if you don't want to wait for the legal English release for volume 17, there is a amazing synopsis on the DanMachi Wikipedia, so a shout out to that person that wrote that mammoth of a thing up. I squizzed over it very briefly just to kind of see how big it was and what it kind of entailed, and it's definitely a very well detailed synopsis. Don't really know the full details of it, but I've been reading the light novels anyway, so I didn't need to worry. But I wanted to give them a shout out because again, if you want to read it, you have that option available. But also be warned that if you go to the Wikipedia, there's a lot of spoilers, so if you go in there for spoilers, then you'll be fine. But if you're not, just be careful. So getting into Freya, I know a lot of people should know already that I am a very big fan of Freya. I'm very much seen as the ultimate simp for Freya because I absolutely love and adore her. And I still do, even getting into volume 17. But definitely there is a lot more complexity behind her character in volume 17 that keeps being added. Like, volume 16 did a really good job at fleshing her out, fleshing Sia out. And again, of course, spoilers, Sia, Freya, both the same person. There's a little bit more to it, but again, go to my volume 16 review. But I'm about halfway through volume 17, and I just wanted to kind of get a couple of things off my chest entailing that, because I mentioned in my volume 16 review, you could see that Freya was slightly changing. Even her own familiar members pointed that out, and I had someone in the comment section saying, oh, but in the first season of the anime, Hestia says gods and goddesses don't change. And I'm just like, well, that's completely wrong, because gods and goddesses, why did they go from, the divine plane to the human world and give up some of their powers so that they could live amongst the mortals? Clearly they wanted to change a pace, they wanted to change and live a different life. Some of them not so much, but I definitely think some of the gods and goddesses will never change because deep down in their core they are who they are, but some of them will change in small ways. I mean, even Hestia has changed a little bit throughout the light novels and even in the anime. She's definitely matured. I just wanted to note it because I saw at least a couple of people saying that remark, so maybe it is in the anime, but I don't remember it ever being in the actual light novels. But Freya is definitely changing, and one thing that I noticed in the first half of volume 17 is that there's like two personalities with Freya kind of conflicting. The one that wants to do the right thing and not trick Belle, and the other one that's just desperate. She wants Belle, she'll do anything, and so she's kind of sacrificing a bit of herself to basically trick Belle, and you can see the guilt that is on her as well. Like, she doesn't enjoy it. At the same time, you can see she's desperate. She really, really loves Belle, and I think that's the thing. It's love makes people desperate, love makes people crazy, and it makes them do irrational things. So I definitely think Freya as a character is very realistic in her motivations and her reasoning behind doing what she's doing. And that's one of the things that I really love about Freya. Again, one thing that I want to point out, and this is one of the reasons why I don't want to read and review Spider light novels anymore, because this was an issue that I had a lot and I got really annoyed with the community behind it, was that I would simply try to break apart the difference between liking and disliking a character for who they are, and then liking and disliking a character based on the writing behind them. Like, there are two components to a character: whether you like them for who they are and whether you like the writing. So say, for example, Potamus from Spider, I think he's a douche canal. I don't like him as a person, but I like his writing because he makes a good antagonist and a good villain, but he makes a really bad person and a leader for his people. So I would always try to break that apart, but a lot of the times I didn't like repeating myself like 60 times, which people apparently complain about. But then when I don't repeat myself and re-emphasize on points, I then have people misquoting me and twisting my words, saying, oh, so you're saying you don't like the character, so that means you don't want them in the story. No. A good written villain will make you hate them. That's the point. It's the same sort of situation with some characters in DanMachi as well. There are some characters in DanMachi that I really dislike for obvious reasons because of how manipulative and conniving they are. I mean, Hermes, it's a love-hate relationship with me. I love him and then I hate him at the same time because you can see he's so manipulative. He's got a hidden agenda, but he won't be forthcoming about it so much. So that's why I kind of say I have that love-hate relationship with Hermes. But again, as much as I get annoyed at him and I hate him for some of his decisions, I love the sort of the character building that goes into him. I love his sort of naughty, chaotic behavior. But Freya is exactly the same. I absolutely love her character. She's so complex. She's so fun. She stirs the pot. She's chaotic. And yeah, I definitely simp for her. I do think some people take it a little bit too far when I was like joking in my last video about simping for Freya. The other thing though too with Freya is, I would say the most negative component about Freya is not so much to do with Freya itself, but more the surroundings around Freya. How she brings certain people to her, like how she's got all her familiar members. They are actually honestly her downfall when it comes to a lot of the things that she wants. Like in volume 16, they made things worse, and I honestly think Freya's familiars are idiots because they love her so much and they worship her so much that they end up becoming her greatest pitfall because they end up making things worse for her. And that actually ends up being her worst sort of personality trait, in the sense of because of how beautiful and divine and how she radiates that aura of absolute beauty itself, it attracts those people that will do anything and everything to satisfy her will, to the point where you could actually just call them simps. You could actually call them simps because they're willing to do something so extreme that it goes against what Freya wants. And you can see that in volume 16 and some of it in volume 17. Again, I've only read halfway. I'll be definitely talking about it more in another video, but there's just so much to discuss here because you can see so many different layers to Freya, the sort of the aura around her that has an effect and a rippling effect on others around her, like Belle, you know, the members that are doing as they're meant to be told. Some do, some don't. And then you've also kind of got the two conflicting personalities, and then you've also got her connections with other people that technically she does and doesn't have a connection with, but because of Sia and her dual identity, that allows her to have a connection. And how she feels guilty for what she's doing to them, but at the same time, she's basically going, well, if you don't bend the knee, then you're in my way and I'm going to have to basically boot you aside. So I'm really interested to see where that goes. Again, I don't want any spoilers. I'll be reading more of volume 17 pretty much tonight, hopefully. But, I really love her character because from a light novel perspective, which I don't think the anime is going to do a good job on her, there's just so many fun layers to her. And you understand more and more and more and more and more about her in volume 16, volume 17, and also the sort of prequel side story, which I would highly recommend. And that does have a legal English translation. I have a review on that as well. Go check that out. That doesn't have so much Belle in it. It has a little bit of Belle, but it's more just kind of a last minute part to it because it's mostly about her adventure. But I really do recommend that one as well if you really want to know more about Freya. I understand why people may not like her because of how conniving she can be, but that's what makes her fun. It's what makes her interesting. She makes the story spicy. She adds that flavor to the story, and I can't help but love her determination, because I think sometimes people think they're better than what they really are. Like, people kind of look at characters, and I've mentioned this in my realistic characters video, Trash or Good, which, beautiful video. I absolutely pulled that off well, where a lot of people got a little bit triggered. A lot of people had great discussions to offer. But the point that I was making in there is that a lot of the times people like to look from a top-down perspective on characters and think that, oh, well, I wouldn't do that, or I would do this differently. But when you put yourselves in the shoes of that person, you would probably make similar decisions, if not maybe slightly a different variation. We are imperfect people in an imperfect world, as I said in the previous video. And I think sometimes people look at Freya and think, oh, she's evil, she's all these horrible things, I would never do that. And it's like, trust me, I've met a lot of people in my life that believed they were good people, and generally they are, but they make some really, really poor decisions. And decisions honestly, you would sit there from a sort of top-down perspective going, you shouldn't make that decision. And as a person watching, I shouldn't make that decision. But you know that, again, we are just not perfect people. And that's what I really like about some of these authors for series like Spider, Overlord, Shield Hero, DanMachi, Log Horizon, you name it. There's a vast array of them. I would like to read some of the side story stuff that's attached to the game, but I really don't want to play the mobile game. I'm time constrained enough as it is. I don't need to play another game as it is. I play enough Genshin Impact as it is. I don't need more time distractions, so it's just difficult. Again, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I always recommend reading the light novels for this very specific reason. There's a lot more depth in DanMachi in the light novels than there is in the anime. So again, love to know your thoughts, but if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.